All right. Well, welcome back to the iWealth podcast. And today we're talking about a bunch of paper that sits up in my lockbox that I haven't really touched since grade school.
Were they love letters?
They were not love letters, unfortunately. They were some weird government bonds, and they've just been sitting up there. Where do I go to redeem them? I don't know. What do I do with these things? They're left over from grade school.
Yeah. Things have changed, by the way.
Okay.
You used to be able to take that paper that's in that box, pull it out, go into a bank and say, hey, can you redeem these? Can you tell me what they're worth? That kind of thing. And you can't anymore.
Okay.
So the government has built a nice website, though, and you can enter in those serial numbers.
The cryptic numbers at the bottom.
Exactly. You enter it in, and it'll give you what it's worth, what the interest rate it's paying, if it's still paying interest. Remember, a lot of those the old Series EE bonds stopped paying interest after 30 years. So we've had clients that have brought them in. They're no longer collecting interest on them anymore. And there's some tax benefits.
But at least there's value there, right?
Right. Here's where there's no value. If you can't find that box upstairs and you lose them, they're gone.
They're gone.
They're gone. So you lose Series EE bonds, they're gone if you lose them. You have to have them to redeem them.
It's like the old version of crypto.
I
You forgot your...
I guess. The government has their own version of their Series EE. We tell clients all the time, just pull them out of the safety deposit box wherever they're at, take a photo of them, and then go on the website and build out like your portfolio. You can get a username and password with the government, and you can kind of build out your portfolio and keep an eye on them and inventory them. What also happens is a lot of them don't have beneficiaries, and they get to be kind of a nightmare to all of a sudden, I die and I'm going to give them to Trudy or my kids to get them in their names. Now you're dealing with government and paperwork and everything else. And so sometimes people have $500 of this stuff, and it just makes more sense maybe to redeem them and be done with it.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. The one thing that I am getting
if you have the paper, but it's also linked to your name, right? So you have to have those. So if you pass away, it's not like you can just give the paper to somebody else and then they have the benefit of it.
Yeah. So my situation again, we'll use me. Let's say I have no beneficiary. I die.
Yep.
Trudy then has to prove that she's the rightful owner. With legal paperwork, and then you got to submit it to the government to get it in her name, that she's the rightful owner.
It just creates
and then
a bunch
she
of
dies, and then the
rigmarole.
kids have to do the same thing. So there's a lot of money. It makes sense to do it, but you can add beneficiaries on those accounts too. You don't have to sell them.
Even on the little ones?
Even on the little ones, you can add beneficiaries on them. Yep, for sure. But you got to go and do it all yourself. You used to have banks help you. You can't do it anymore. You got to do it. You got to take care of it yourself. I am having people with inflation now. So the inflation's here for a while. We know what's going on with gas and everything. And there's Series I bonds. And I bonds are for inflation. They're paying about 7% right now.
Really?
So I've had some clients that have taken a look at that. Now the maximum you can do is 10 grand.
Okay.
So if you want to put $100,000 at 7%, it's not going to happen. But you can do 10 grand, and you can invest in Series I bonds, and they have different maturity lengths in them, and it changes every 6 months based upon the interest rate. So as the inflation rate has gone up, now all of a sudden they're paying 7. They used to pay 2, let's say. So it depends on what's going on. Yeah, and those are the newest type of bonds that are out there. But again, you don't walk into my office and buy those. You go online in order to do those Series I bonds. And because of the limitation on 10 grand, we have some clients that just say, I just don't want to deal with it.
It's too small.
Yeah.
And it's too much rigmarole.
Yeah, if I put 100 grand in and get a good return on it, it makes sense, because 7's a great return at this point, for sure. So I guess the cautionary tale is if you have those bonds laying around, inventory them. At least get pictures of them.
Yeah.
And go online and see what they're worth and see if you need to do anything with them or not.
Yeah, and if you're in retirement, at least see if there is a beneficiary. I think that's maybe the second piece of this puzzle.
Right. Or if you ride mountain bike like me, get a beneficiary on it now.
There you go. All right, well, we'll see you back here next time.